Today we're testing vintage 50mm lenses on my modern Sony mirrorless camera. We have 5 absolutely brutal tests to put these through. Edge sharpness, the infinity test, flare test, bokeh test, and the skin color rendering test. And maybe we'll host a durability test where I drop them off the top of a parking garage for fun. You'll just have to wait and see. Let's meet our contenders. All of these lenses can be had for less than $100 and can be adapted very easily. First up, East German, cheap, the underdog, Pentacon Auto 50mm f1.8. Next up, we have character, another fighter coming in from East Germany, Meyer-Optik Görlitz 50mm f1.8. Up next, the benchmark, a lens your dad probably used. Hailing from Japan, Canon FD 50mm f1.8. Coming in hot, the name that carries weight from Germany, Zeiss 50mm f2.8. And lastly, the heavy hitter from Japan, the Nikon 50mm f1.4. Now I own a couple vintage lenses, but these 4 were actually loaned to me by a local camera store in the greater Philadelphia area, Cardinal Camera Used. Now, if you live in the area, you should definitely check their store out. They have a boatload of awesome used equipment. They also have a website that they have a lot of really great inventory on, and they were kind enough to provide me with a 5% discount code for anyone watching this video who wants to shop on their website. Thanks again, Cardinal Camera Used. Let's get back to the video. Now, if you're not familiar with how vintage lenses work, it's very simple. First, you have your camera and its native mount. I have an E-mount, and then I have this vintage Nikon lens. This is an F-mount. These obviously don't fit together, but you can buy, for a very affordable price, an adapter that goes from F-mount to E-mount. Boom. You have a full-frame 50mm f1.4 lens for a very affordable price. Okay, so now that you're an expert on adapting vintage lenses, let's talk about how we're going to rank them in this test. The lens that performs best in each test will get 2 points. The lens in second place gets 1 point, and the rest of the lenses get nada. Okay, first up, we have the sharpness test. Now, in most cases, lenses are pretty sharp in the center. For a test like this, we don't want to just see sharpness here. We want to see sharpness here, and here, and here, and here. So we're going to be comparing pictures that I took of a brick wall. Just wait, they're beautiful. And our goal here is to crown a winner for this specific challenge that has the sharpest corners and the sharpest center. Let's look at those results. To keep things moving smoothly, I'm gonna go over last place, second place, and first place only for every round. In last place, we have the Meyer-Optik Görlitz lens. Now, this lens was rather soft at the edges, and in addition to that, it had this fisheye bubble to it. Now, it was very subtle, but whenever you compare it to one of the other photos, there's a level of distortion that is just unacceptable, and that is why this lens got last place. In second place, the Nikon lens. Now, this lens was pretty sharp, but it just wasn't as sharp as it needed to be, and that is why it got second place in the sharpness test. Now, for first place, I was pleasantly surprised because this just happens to be one of the most cost-effective lenses on the list. I'm talking about the Canon 50mm f1.8. This lens was exceptionally sharp at not only the center, but also the edges. And for that reason, it's getting first place. So I'm awarding 2 points for Canon, 1 point for Nikon. I feel like I'm running a marathon right now. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, because you can see I'm putting in this effort. So For our infinity test, it actually happens to be super foggy on the day that I planned on shooting. So we're gonna give it a go, but we're gonna have to come up with a backup plan to get real concrete results here because, you know, this channel, it's based on nothing but the most scientific experiments. Let's get started. The infinity test. Now we took 2 sets of photos for the infinity test, and I'm glad we did because the fog was tough. It made things hard to judge, frankly. So let's jump right into the results. In last place, the Carl Zeiss lens. Now I was just as shocked as you are. Unfortunately, it just wasn't up to par with the results I got from the rest of the lenses. In second place, to the Nikon lens. The Nikon was just able to kind of hold its own with this test. The winner, you're gonna be just as shocked as I was. The winner was the Meyer-Optik's Görlitz lens. This lens was rather sharp for the infinity test, and I was very impressed at the results that I got from it. So if you do landscape photography or if you're constantly taking pictures of far off things, this might be a good lens for that. Now, once we went inside, things changed dramatically. In last place, the Nikon lens. The image was just super awful when zoomed in. I mean, it was terrible. Now, in second place, the Pentacon. This lens did surprisingly well in lower light at infinity. It earned its place on the leaderboard. Now, first place, which is funny because in the last test it got last place. First place for this test happens to be the Carl Zeiss lens. When I peeked in there at the very far back of that shot, the Carl Zeiss was extra sharp with those details. Now, I don't know if there's a variation between focus for the outdoor shot versus the indoor shot. I just know that the fog did make it tough to pull focus, but if we want to try and test in as many environments as we possibly can. This group of tests, we're going to be giving 2 points to Meyer-Optics, 2 points to Carl Zeiss, 1 point to Nikon, and 1 point to Pentacon. Let's move on. The flaring test, where boys become men. Actually, not really. Just a just a picture, you know. In last place, I have to give it to the Nikon. That flare on the left side of the image is just unacceptable. It's terrible. Looks absolutely terrible, and that is why that lens got last place. See, when I want to do a flare test, my goal is to retain as much contrast as possible, and there was like no contrast left in that image at all. In second place, we are going to give it to the Pentacon. Now, the Pentacon does have a coating on it, as you can see written right there. It says multi-coating, and that definitely helped it to excel in this specific category, but it did get beat out by one other lens. And that would be the Canon 50mm f1.8. This lens also has a coating on it. It definitely helped with the contrast in this specific test. So we're gonna be giving 2 points to Canon and 1 point to Pentacon. That's gonna put Canon in first place and the rest of the lenses tied for second at the moment. Let's see what happens next. All right, so we're gonna try a bokeh test here. So my goal is for these lights to be nice bokeh balls and some good background separation here. So let's see how it looks. the bokeh test. Now I know everyone here is super excited about the bokeh test. It's like you get a lens and you're like, oh yeah, let's just shoot wide open all the time. We'll take every single picture at f1.2 all the frickin' time. It's gonna be so awesome. Anyways, the bokeh test. Now in last place, this one might be kind of obvious. We had to give it to the Carl Zeiss because he's only an f2.8. And we want big bokeh balls for this test. In second place, now this is a close one. I was really torn here. In second place, I'm gonna give it to the Canon. The Canon happened to be the sharpest lens wide open, but I can't just give Canon the victory for the bokeh test just because it was extra sharp in the areas where it was supposed to be in focus. No, the Nikon with the beautiful f1.4 wins that test because it's got bigger balls. Bokeh balls, that is. Nikon gets 2 points and Canon gets 1 point. So Canon still being in first place and Nikon just behind it in second place. We have one more test as well as an opportunity for bonus points. Anything could happen at this point. Let's get into it. Okay, so the skin color test actually was like the hardest one for me to decipher personally. At first, everything just kind of looked the same. But when you really get up and close and personal, you can really see some of the differences in how the lenses render skin color and how my beautiful little pores are perceived by these vintage lenses. In last place, we're gonna give it to the Meyer-Optik Görlitz. When you zoom in, it's almost like I was radioactive glowing. I mean, there's something unique about this lens, and you might like that really soft, glowing, hazy almost appearance, but it's not what this test is about. Last place. Now we're moving on to second place. We're actually giving this to the Carl Zeiss. Carl Zeiss lens was really nice, actually. Did a really good job at a simple 50mm portrait, so congratulations, Carl. And in first place, we are going to give it to the Canon. The Canon lens just was very exceptional at this specific test. The lens actually rendered color a lot better than any of the other lenses, in my opinion, and everything was tack sharp. I mean, my pores were ginormous. It was great. It was really awesome. Okay, so we're gonna be giving 2 points to Canon and 1 point to the Carl Zeiss lens. This competition's not over yet. We got a bonus round. First and foremost, maximum aperture goes to the Nikon. It gets 1 additional point. Next up, we're going to crown a point to the Carl Zeiss Jena, simply because it is the shortest lens. I don't know about you, but whenever I'm taking pictures, sometimes I want a more compact, low-profile lens, and that would be the Carl Zeiss Jena. We're going to give a point to the lightest lens, which actually happened to be the Canon. This Canon was made whenever plastic lenses were way more common. Because of that, it is a lot lighter than the other lenses in this grouping. And lastly, I want to give a point to the lens with the best build and feel. If you're familiar with vintage lenses, you know what this point's going to, and that's gotta go to Nikon. Nikon lenses are a different breed. This is a beautiful lens. The aperture is beautiful and clicky, and the focus is very smooth. It's just a great lens. It's very heavy, but it's a very nice lens, so it gets a point. That about wraps things up. If you're in the market for a vintage lens, I highly recommend the Canon 50mm f1.8. People talk so highly about Canon's FD lenses, and they're always adapted and being used for cinema purposes and just all over the place. It's funny because I actually 3D printed the mount for this, so it was the first time that I actually got to use it myself. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to support my channel additionally, there's several links in this video where you can do so. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.